so we're officially underway at this point. I'm going to start off with dealing out the cards. The next action is assignment of ships to naval operations. I want to look at some of my events and see if there's anything that affects me for this. Fiat fighters join the Nationalist Air Force. I get some extra planes. But this is kind of nice, 2 extra dice, or take 2 dice away. Nationalist War Council. An extra unit. And this is affects 2 dice with a plus or minus 1. That's pretty impressive. Rioting in Barcelona. Get rid of some militia units. That looks less impressive to me with a big bonus to it. So this is probably a card that I am tempted to use in combat rather than for the event. But I suspect most of the cards are balanced according to the designer's view. It's just this one appeals to me less for a combat card. I may be mistaken. More units in Seville with bonuses to a couple of dice. Extra RPs with a +2 bonus. That's, again, I don't know, I mean, I can bring more units in. Getting that balance between, is a combat card that valuable, or do I want to play these units? This one, turn a 3 strength into a 5 strength Italian unit. I don't think I have any Italian units at this point. I mean, I know I don't on the board, and I'm looking at my cards. So this might be a hard one for me to get played quickly. On the other hand, it's only a bonus of 1 to 1 die for a couple of strength points. I mean, a bonus of 1 to 1 die is like a 1 strength point effect. Something like this, where we've got 2 points on 2 dice, that's going to be a permanent, that's going to possibly affect 2 steps in a combat situation. And a little confused with combat. Is it just one roll off and one person does damage to the other? Which is what I think it is, but I'm not absolutely certain. Let's see. I think that, yeah, both sides are rolling damage to each other. So, yeah. So, by putting the minus, you can reduce the damage that you're going to take. By putting the plus, you can increase the damage that you're going to do. So, yeah, we're just talking about a couple of steps there. To me, the addition of the planes definitely looks better. I don't see anything that affects the navies, though. So now, I've got a question of moving my boats. Are there any restrictions on that I don't remember? Because I don't remember much of anything. Assignment of naval units to ports, no. Where is the assignment rule? I don't know. I don't damage ships now. Yep, we get an extra card each. Pull that. I forgot about that. Okay. This one, a bunch, 2 militia turn into 2 3-strength phalangist militia. And versus bonuses on a couple of dice. Again, it's hard to tell. This is like 2 steps, this is like 2 steps. So those look about even to me. A lot of them don't look terribly even. And I'm going to have to assess the cards for the battles each time that I face them. But I'm not finding how you actually move, like there's not a rule per se on how you move your boats, and whether there's any limitations on it. Assignment of ships to naval operations in areas. Note the planes to naval operations are assigned in the movement phase after the ground combat resolution. It seems like it's kind of all in here, sort of, kind of. Yeah, I don't know. So initially here, I can prevent this from being a port. This is my naval base, so that's a place that I could move from. And the danger, though, is the Republicans come after me. They have a lot of damaged ships, but they do have a couple of real combat ships available. If I send this out on its own, it may not be safe. I think I'm within 3 of the Baleares. I'm sure I'm within 3 of the Mediterranean. The question is whether I want to send a fleet out somewhere else. I'm going to drop this fleet into here, simply because I can't move that plane, and as of right now, I don't want to contesting these looks like I'm at a weakness. It looks like the Republican Navy is stronger. But the Republican Navy is just going to get bigger. Like, the only reason it's stronger right now is they have this destroyer squadron to help this. But the only reason that I'm stronger here is I have an airplane to help. So, whatever. But that opens things up so that the Republicans can sail out. I think this is the extra, no, I don't think so. So I get an extra card automatically on the first 5 turns. I think I actually get another extra card from this. I don't know if it's in effect right now. At the beginning of upkeep. Yeah, so the rules on this is that each player gets these. I'm not going to apply this on the first turn. But again, you know, those naval rules are very weakly placed. And I can look to see if I have anything that's boat related here real quickly. Players may not put any unit in the Mediterranean box. Both effects in the box are implemented. Right now I don't want to play that. I may want to hold it. And I think there's only like 1 naval card for each player. Let's get these up here and out of my view. So, where are we? I'll send this out to the Baleares because that looks like a good idea. And it looks like a good place to have right now. The difference is I could sail out of someplace like here and... Oh, the restriction's only on air use. Yeah. So, like, naval movement's not actually spelled out in any way. So it's like, I think I can sail anywhere to any of these things. So I could go beat up on this fleet if I want it. But I think grabbing these looks like a better move right now. I'm not really worried about Bilbao as a port, I don't think. I got this, which could be any friendly port. So what is this preventing? Bilbao and Oviedo. So these 2. It means my internationalists can't show up there, but they can show up down here, and that's good enough for me, or Barcelona. Yeah. So I'm not gonna go out of my way to try to break that semi-blockade thing, like broader than a normal blockade. And that gets me to movement and plane assignment for the Nationalists. Well, I gotta think about this. Remember, I'm gonna be able to only, planes aren't gonna have their free range, but they are able to move to areas that they would be able to reach. And this is kind of weird because the leaders are already placed and they're allowed to move again based on normal land movement rules, which is kind of funky. Let me see what I can find that looks interesting and that I'd want to move to. As I'm facing this kind of new point-to-point type system, I'm going to be doing some exploration of it. But quite simply, these guys could come out of here, and that's a problem, which means I have to defend the areas around an area that I'm attacking. That's kind of a weird situation that I'm not used to in a point-to-point game or an area game. I'm not used to such fluid ability, and that's kind of an important facet of this game. You know, I'd love to get out of here, but I don't think that's a wise move. I could get out of here and put more strength into here. I could have committed this to naval operations. That probably would have been wise. I think Oviedo is important, so I'm going to move this here and get myself this. Now, Leon's important because it's a way out of here, but here's the thing. They have to stop when they get here, and that's going to put them in kind of a difficult position. Here, however, I may not want to let him get exposed to La Coruna so easily. And I kind of feel the same way. Burgos I could move out of. That's not threatened, so I'm going to go there. Why is it not threatened? Because this is the last piece there. So I'm going to put a real unit there. I'm going to try to get some power in the north here. I think I can afford to do this. I'm not sure what value there is, but there's definitely a value to joint control of areas. So that seems worthwhile. How important is Huesca? I can't leave it going this way. I could leave going this way and thus put more strength. Where are my battles going to be? You see, I'm trying to capture everything in my head at once here. And I have only 2 leaders. This guy's got a +1. This guy's got a +1. I don't feel like Guadalajara, as important as the name sounds, is absolutely vital to me. But there aren't a lot of places I can go. I can go to Zaragoza with that leader. I can't do it yet. My planes, I don't have a lot of planes, so I got to think of them too. Okay, from Seville, I am allowed to move, I think, 2 units to Cadiz. I'm going to make one of them Yagüe. I can't move him yet. Oh, geez. So this is painful because the leader movement doesn't happen during this phase. And I can't move here with this leader. Shit. Okay. So I can afford, I think I'm going to push this entire force up here to Badajoz. I'll push someone here. This I can move here. That opens up my capability to go to like Ciudad Real. But instead, I'm going to run down to Elmira, which kills the control marker. Jeez. My airplane would be valuable here. This is probably the place I most want to attack. So I'm going to push it up there with the intention of getting the leader up there. I can't go beyond this line, kind of, using my leaders, so. I don't want to just bring troops in, so I'm going to bring someone into Seville. Well, why don't we bring our good guys in? I'm going to bring someone here, but because this is the first turn, I'm going to mark this as 2, because I want to bring at least one of these leaders in. In fact, I probably want to bring 2 leaders in, but the Nationalists are a little low on forces. How do I feel elsewhere? I don't want to leave Salamanca open, so I got to make sure there's some availability to get there, to prevent the Republicans from streaming into there. I'm okay with Segovia. What about Guadalajara? Well, I don't really think I want to leave Guadalajara. The only exception would be maybe I want to get into Madrid and fight for that better. I can't really paw through their pieces, although at this point I know how big they are. It's the start of the game, right? I think I'm going to leave Guadalajara behind. Move into Zaragoza. What are my victory conditions? It's not easy because I'm trying to keep everything in mind at once. And honestly, that's something that doesn't happen with most hex and counter games unless they're very lightweight. This is putting more of a burden of trying to get the strategy all right in the first play. So, Madrid, Barcelona, and Seville, if I get all 3 of those. I have Seville. I'm heading for Barcelona. The choices really are Madrid or Barcelona. So that, at the end of upkeep, would win me the game. But Madrid before the start of turn 4 could win me the game. I don't think I can get Madrid easily. I really don't. It looks like the Republicans are heavily committed there. Now, I don't think this leader dies. This is such a fucked up thing because the first turn rolls are as bad as the naval rules. They don't follow the normal pattern of the rules. And I don't know if I should be moving this during the movement phase or it's during regular deploying leaders phase. I just don't know. But if it's deploy leaders like I'm doing, is he safe there for, I don't know. I just don't know. The rules are not very solid here, even for the non-naval rules. The Republican player has more than 3 at the end of turn 10. Yeah, I don't have to worry about that. I have to worry about the other side. I need to have 8 connected boxes. If I lose that, I'm in trouble. I hope I won't, but it may be possible. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I mean, could I get cut off somehow? Potentially. This game could just be over like that because of that rule. That's going to be hard to maintain. On the other hand, I probably won't notice it if it happens. Trying to understand the game state here, even understanding the rules and how much at risk you are, that feels particularly hard. And I'm beginning to see why, maybe you don't want to play with the naval rules. This isn't as simple a game to comprehend what to do as maybe it seems. All right, I think I've moved what I want to move. The only question is, do I want to get some crap out of Madrid at this point? Madrid is scary. If I do, well, I'm in danger of losing other places is the problem. So yeah, I'm going to send someone to Toledo. I'm going to send someone to Guadalajara. And we'll send someone to Segovia. And we will actually abandon Madrid. We can't abandon Madrid. You're not allowed to abandon this space. Okay, we'll leave Segovia open. Sounds fair. And I'm making the push for Barcelona. I don't think Madrid is as important to the Republican cause as Barcelona. Now that's going to put me to the Republican side of things. And I need to break. This is really, like, I feel like I'm facing an unknown, a huge unknown with this game. As I'm trying to figure out where to move things, what to do. And we're kind of going to see what happens. And we may learn a lot on the first turn. Now, you got to remember, the Civil War was kind of, chaotic in the early part. So what's going on may be perfectly reasonable in terms of, like, matching the topic that I'm so fucking confused. However, the thing that worries me is the idea that it could just end like that, which also may not be unreasonable, but it provides for a bad first experience of the game. Okay, I had quite a bit ahead of steam up as the gaming, but then the dance takes a lot out of me. I want to get a little bit more of this into play so I don't lose the habit entirely. I had stopped after the Nationalist movement and Plains. Now I'm on the Republicans. And the Republicans always have this advantage of being able to react to whatever the Nationalists have done, which seems kind of strong. And I'm not sure the designer's notes don't go into the details of the design very well. So, like, an argument of why that's the case hasn't been made. It's just the sequence. But given that it's, not a one player than the other, movement and combat both combined, it seems to me like something where the Republicans are going to get an extreme advantage out of this. All right. I've got close to equality here, and it would not be easy for me. Shit. The fact that things have to be tilted means I can't. I have to be a little bit more careful. But yeah, it doesn't look like I can put more force in there. Of course, neither side has a general in there, so that's no big deal. Where am I gonna put my force? Well, I have a general here with a +1 and planes. It looks to me like Madrid's going to be easy to take control of. I think what I want to do is I want to shift more forces up here. This unit is tilted where it shouldn't be into whatever this is, Toledo. I'm facing a fair amount of force there. So I am going to move these two. That's not a plane. I can't move the general yet, which means I'm probably going to forget the general because it's only really a problem on the first turn anyway. But what else do we have here? Got a fight going on here where I could conceivably pull out of Guadalajara and give a little bit more force here. It looks like Okay, and I think that's a -1 leader, which sucks. It looks like I've got a hard row with this leader, but I will move another unit over in that case. Here, I'm pretty safe across here. I'm not going to be able to slip a leader through up there. Remember, on this first turn, the leaders are limited. Are my planes in the best choice places? I could drop another plane over here, or I could leave him in Madrid. I think I'll pull it over. I'm just looking. I don't see a whole lot that I can do. I could leave Valencia and or Murcia. Those don't seem like bad ideas, so I'm going to shift out of here. Is Valencia in danger of just being captured? I hope not. I'm trying to see. There's only one unit here, but there's a chance of an attack coming here. So really kind of have to put depth in place. Put another unit up here at Toledo. Try to grab control of what I can. Ciudad Real. It would be unsafe for me to move here because he's got a couple of nationalist units here he'll be able to ooze. So I don't want that. I'm a little worried about this area, but I should be able to defend Barcelona, I hope. So I think I'm going to call that good for that. Now general's assignment, and we start with the Nationalists. Now I believe this is alternating, but it's hard to remember. Yeah, so it's one at a time. Well, I definitely don't want to be at Guadalajara, so I'm going to shift him over here, and we'll flip him so that, or turn him so that we know he has moved. Likewise, we'll do the same here with this one. For the Republicans, let's see, is there another nationalist who wants to move somewhere? Not entirely sure I want this leader here. That may not be a good move. Okay, what did I move here? I moved 2. I have to move him before I can bring Yagüe into play. I do not have a general here, so I'm going to shift him up to Badajoz. And back to the Republicans. Trying to find. I'm really not sure I need or want a general there, because he's got a penalty on him. But on the other hand, opening a fight somewhere else might be bad. And the fact that I've got these tilted units kind of outside their space makes it difficult for me to assess what's going on. Again, it's the particulars of how this is presented. It may, with more play, be easier to understand. Why do I have a plane here still? I don't know. Yeah, I'm having a hard time finding these pieces because normally they would be in here. No. Placing them elsewhere. Other than Madrid, I don't see anyone I'd be willing to pull out, and I'm good with him being there. I think I want to take Madrid. So we go back to the Nationalists. At this point, we get this leader. Now, we would have loved to have pushed more forces forward, but we didn't. Put him up here to try to take Cordoba, and we're going to try to carve out more space. Now that's the third of these, so that's gone. I think we're done with the leaders, I hope. And now it's time to do combats. Now, we look for the rules on combat. I believe, again, this is alternating. Somebody mentioned, yeah, this looks really fiddly. You know, it is, but it's mainly got to do with the way that, man, there's a few things. One of it is a lack of support, and I'm not sure what support that would be for, you know, addressing, hey, these things have moved already, these things haven't. A lot of putting pieces back where they belong. A lot of things. But on top of that, there's also with all these different army units and everything, all these different types of units, there's an aspect of that which also applies to this. And I think this is going to be a hard game, especially on video, to kind of get into. Okay. So let's see. Once all generals, starting with the Nationalists, each side will in turn select one general. Okay, so the Nationalists are going to pick a fight. Well, I don't have a clear idea in my head of where or why I'd want to fight somewhere first. So I'm going to launch an attack here. Now, there's a marker. Let me grab it out of the bag. There are two separate turn markers for some reason. I'm going to put one of them here. And then we'll pull everyone out here. And we have a general. What do we do with a general? I don't know. Who's what? I think these are the Republicans, I hope. So we got troop. There's, you know, more troop units than are necessary, or more. There's not very many spaces, which is weird. And I guess this is a support unit. I don't know why a plane isn't a support unit. I don't really understand, you know, the way this is set up graphically. It looks like it has arrows and all kind of crap going on in it. And here we have the Republican. Okay, well, clearly this is going to be the defending unit. Attack. I guess I want to use the heaviest unit. I'll give it air support and leader support and throw everything in. So, now we're allowed to play cards for combat support. The attacker gets to play first. I feel like I'm throwing so much into this, I don't need to play a card. The Republicans, you know, I don't know, how much am I going to get out of this? I'm facing 3 dice. A +1 on them, +2 on them. That's a lot to overcome. So I will let the Republicans go with what they want. And there's no air combat. Okay. Now, as the attacker, negative effects always go on the highest die. But in this case, I can apply it to the second highest die. I got 5s. Okay, now here it says hits are applied, but it doesn't tell you what the number required to get a hit is. That was, as I indicated earlier, I believe specified somewhere way back here. Something about 5s and 6s always being hits, but they're not, you know. It's like, oh, geez. Yeah, I can't find it. And now my brain seems to tell me that. Like, it's something I read at some point when going through this. But I don't know. So here you have fives. Does it? Yeah, it doesn't really say anything there. Dice. Okay, yeah. In general terms, a 5 or a 6 is considered a hit, but that's not really true. It's only true in ground combat as far as I can tell. Everything else, you kind of need 6s, and 5s are like less important. Anyway, I've got 2 hits, which I get to apply, and one of them will take this unit out, and I believe it goes here. However, the defender did get a hit, and that reduces this unit. These guys are used, so they won't win again, and that is a nationalist battle. Now it goes to the Republicans. Where do they want to fight? I think we have to do 1 round of combat before retreating, because otherwise I would have run away, obviously. But I'm not sure. Let's see. I seem to remember there was a retreat option. I don't see one. Which kind of, again, means the ability of the Republicans to run away before combat means that they don't suffer bad fights if they don't want them. The Nationalists will. Okay. So let's go over here. And we got our Nationalists. Put this marker down. You know, I want to use this while things are early in the game. Some crappy Republicans, some not so crappy ones, a couple of planes, and a leader that I guess goes there. Okay. So I'm going to lead with my good unit, and I'll pick on one of his units. I will throw an extra dice for air support and an extra +2 for the leader, I guess. I don't know. Is the leader always in effect? I don't know. I mean, they get used by attacking, but I don't know that. I think they're only allowed to affect 1. Yeah. The general can support a defending unit once per turn without being turned to its inactive phase. Okay. Otherwise, it'll be flipped. Okay. All right, so do we want to use the +2 at this point? I think so, but I don't know. I really don't know. And so here we go. An extra die for support. But we got too many dice. Those units only have 1 die. So with a +2, I got 2 6s for what it matters. I kill a unit. And this is used. And the plane and the general are both used. Okay. And now I can come in again. Let's do it this way. And again, it's 2 dice against 1, but I don't have the pluses anymore. That -1 up there is air combat only. It doesn't impact things. We both missed. So now I'm used. Now the defender doesn't get used. He's available. At this point, I could stop the attack. I don't have to keep going. I'm at a disadvantage in fighting. However, I would like to win this battle, and I'm willing to take that disadvantage, I guess. And I miss again. And we do once more. Remember, I'm at -1 with these guys. We didn't play cards. Why didn't we play cards? I don't know. And we miss again. Okay. So the Nationalists stay in Toledo. And the Republicans, all these have been used, but it's not a big deal because the leader's been flipped, and they're not going to make another attack. And I said we were at Toledo. Okay, well, let's consider use of cards here, I guess. Let's have it go so. Oh, there's a space for the general. I don't know what the support unit spaces are for. Planes and stuff you commit. All right, so the Nationalists are launching this attack. I've got a +1 general here. And I want to pick on his best unit. With mine, we commit support. I will commit my... Got these in the wrong order again. I will commit my general. I'm not going to get 2 hits with this. Maybe I'll commit my general with the crappy unit and hope for the best. And we're kind of at even at this point. Now he has a general who has a -1. You would never use that. So I'm guessing that that's a defensive support that can be used to reduce the hits on someone. In which case, and it's not a penalty to that general. I thought it was a penalty to the general, but it can't be because you would never actually trigger that. So I'm going to use that to cancel out his +1. This does not flip the general, but if I use him again, I guess it does from the way it's worded. Okay, cards. The attacker's the Nationalist. Does he want a card for this? This looks like an important location to me. So I had cards that I didn't think were terribly important. Like, not this one. This one gives me planes. Oh, this one for turning Italians, +1 and... Wait, is +1, yeah, that's just dice. Well, were these the ones? Extra replacement points. The Republican player must choose 3 of his militia and remove them from play. You know, these all look pretty good to me. I thought there were some ones that I didn't need, or that I didn't mind playing. An extra 3-point unit, that's pretty big. I think I'm going to play this one, and I put it face down and say, yeah, I'm playing a card. Do I say anything? I do. I say whether I'm supporting the attack or the defense. I'm going to support attack. And that brings it over to the Republicans, who I believe had some they did not really mind using. This one doesn't look terribly advantageous to me, as I have at some point the naval advantage. During the next replacement phase, you get 3 extra RP. That's pretty big. Bring this unit into play in any friendly box. This looks kind of shitty. And I've got 2 dice coming to me, so I'll play this. What am I interested in? I am interested in hurting him. Am I interested in hurting him enough that I'm willing to use this for offense as well? Or do I want defense? I think I'll play it for defense. Okay. So, because he's got 2 dice, so it doesn't hurt. So he was going for offense. He has +1 to 1 die. He gets 2 dice. -1, +1 cancels out. That would be a +1. But both of them are going to be at -1 due to his thing. Did we do this right? Okay, I add 1 to 1 die. Okay, so one of the dice is going to be at +1, or is going to be at even. The other one's going to be at -1. And this other guy is 2 dice. Oh, wait, I have another -1 in there. Jesus, I don't know. We'll try to figure this out. All right. So I don't think anybody was plussed enough to give them positives. He was at -1, +1, that's even, +1, -1, -1. So there were no hits there, which means these 2 cards are gone from play, never to reoccur. This nationalist unit is used. The general was used. This general was used, kinda. And now we can keep attacking with the remaining units. I will pick on the -1 unit, like this. I'm not going to play a card, and the defender also chooses not to play a card. Now he's got a -1, and unlike the -1 on the leader, I guess this one actually affects the unit's die roll. Again, okay, we each hit, so both are dead, because they only have 1 step each. And we look for the correct type of unit, which may not be on the board or in the box, so we go there. Nationalists can make 1 more attack if they want. I will do so. And I'm going to play a card. I need to add dice. Those guys are not at a penalty. I could give up planes. This is the only thing that gives me dice. I will be giving up 2 good airplanes for this. I don't want to do this. So I will just roll 1 die versus 2. Does he have things he wants to spend? Not really. I could spend my leader, I think, because the exception is something else. I'm not planning on attacking, am I? I am not planning on attacking, so I'm going to expend my leader for the 2nd defensive roll, which is how I'm interpreting these rolls. It may not be right. And that brought a -1 to both. Both take a hit. So this is flipped. This goes there. Nationalists are done with their attack. And because this has been flipped, I don't think the Republicans can try to pick on them. But the Republicans are not really, in a position to do so. We got 1 more battle here at Madrid. And this is a Republican battle, and otherwise we've used, oh no, we've got a nationalist down here we might do. It's very hard to see the leaders, where you can attack, where you can't. Again. Okay. Okay. So the Republicans are launching an attack where? Madrid. This doesn't look as good as I'd think. What Well, we'll beat up on the Nationalists. We're going to put our leader into play here. And we get 2 dice at 0. The Nationalists had decided not to defend here. I'm not going to spend a card. I like my cards too much, I think. The Republicans beat up the Nationalist unit and kill it. And we look for where he might go. And we have succeeded in taking Madrid. Okay, back to the Nationalists. There's one more piece that they can launch an attack with. They're planning on it. Here. Put the Republican in play. The Nationalists will use everything. So that's 2 Nationalist dice at +1 versus 1 Republican die. Leaders. The Nationalists don't see this as that important. They're going to be funneling more and more troops up this way. However, what happens if they lose their only unit? Will they lose their leader? Well, they can't lose their only unit. They can only take 1 hit. And likewise, the Republicans are saying, there's not enough at stake here to waste a card on. So we each take a hit. And Yu-Gi-Oh! Or whatever has won his battle. I think that's the end of combat. Now we go to naval combat resolution. I don't see anywhere where we're competing, so we'll skip that. And now it's upkeep. Withdraw all generals and planes to the owning player mat. Okay. Well, there's general. I think this stays stuck down here because there's rules about him, you know, about how many units you can move out of there. Okay. And I mean, it's not unplayably finicky or fiddly. It's just, and I've seen games that are, it's just, it doesn't look like it's going to be this kind of game when you first look at it. You know, I'm willing to cope with a lot of it. This is not what I was expecting when I was facing this. Objective cities track must be updated. Okay, so let's count. What are owned by the Nationalists? 1, 2, is that right? They lost 2. Painful. What are owned by the Republicans? 1, 2, 3. Okay, so if I'm right, that's 5 here. The contested should be able to go higher than it does. And there's like 12 total, so this should be 7. Let's double check that to make sure, because I probably made an error. I see 2 Nationalists here, or was there no others? I don't know. I've got 1, 2, there's another Nationalist. Okay, that I didn't count. So that's a 3rd one. Let's just start again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, well, we have failed, so we'll start again. Here's what we're going to do. We'll try it this way. Nationalist. Because I hate fucking counting. Nationalist. Nationalist. Okay. 1, 2 split. There's another Nationalist I didn't see. Madrid is Republican. Another split. Murcia is Republican. I don't remember who owned Valencia, but I'm assuming it's Republican. I just lost track of the counter there. Zaragoza looks like it's split. Barcelona's Republican. And we're back to where we started. Excellent. Okay. What about the naval areas? They all take effect now. Bilbao and Oviedo may not be used as ports. Movements allowed. Republican, both sides are, the Republicans are going to draw an extra card and gain an extra event. And the Republican gets an additional replacement point. And we try to remember these. And we're at the event phase. Everybody's going to get to play 4 cards, plus 1 for the Republicans. And we'll try to remember that, because I've had enough. So let's look at the Nationalist cards and see we're allowed to play up to 4 of them because of the naval rule. 3 additional RPs, that could definitely be valuable. An extra unit. Now this unit is only kind of worth 2 RPs, but it's a better unit than general. That's interesting. Republican destroying 3 of their militia. I don't know about that. More planes. Planes, I like planes. A 3-point unit. That's 3 RPs. That is better than destroying Republican units. So now I'm at 4. Change 2 militia for 2 3-strength phalangists. That's 4 RPs, but and they're militia. So I am tempted between these. These 2, I'm not sure which ones I want to apply. But let's start with this one. We'll get, doesn't look like I have one of these available. So that card I will not play. Bring a regular unit in any friendly box. Let's take a look at this one. Okay, so we hunt down the planes that we want. CR32, CR32, these will go into any friendly port. I don't think we have any restrictions on ports. So I'm going to put these aside as I think. 2 militia into 3-point phalangists. I think these are the phalangists. I can choose any militia. I'll choose Republican ones. Let's look, because this is a 2-point. I'd rather not do that, so I'll get rid of this one. And I'm going to find where he goes. And there's another 1-pointer. You'll notice pieces are different size. That helps you identify, that there's a larger unit underneath or whatever. I don't know how good a choice that is yet. I'm not feeling like the sizes are that different, because if I put them squarely on, I just barely notice, but if I do it like that, I can see. Okay, a 3-point regular, let's get that. I can put that anywhere I want. And then I was going to take the 3 extra replacements points, which I'll mark, I guess. I don't know. Okay. So, is there a friendly, has to be a friendly box, not a contested one. Is there a friendly box where I have troops that I want to put into play? I'm going to put them into play here at Burgos. That gets me kind of closer to things. And then finally these at any friendly port. Well, Cadiz is a friendly port. La Coruna is a friendly port. These are airplanes. I don't know what it means for them to be in the port. There's no real rule about that. They should have gone back there. But I guess I'll put them in the ports because that's what's being stated. Let's put this on top there. It seems a little odd. These cards go away. Okay. Now, for the Republicans, they also get to do this. They follow the same kind of thinking here. Bring this unit into Albacete. Only if friendly or controlled or in any friendly port. Where's Albacete? I don't know. I have no idea. I'm a looking. I'm still a looking. Here. Okay, so that's a possibility. Let's grab one of these. Oh, I hope I put this on the right side, yeah. So what's kind of weird is some of the pieces, the stronger side is on the front, some of it's on the back. Just kind of a layout of counters that I find disturbing because sometimes I use the order of things, the facing of things to help me understand stuff. Bring this unit into play in any friendly box. That sounds pretty positive to me. Now, I can play up to 5 events. Players may not put any unit in the Mediterranean. I did not want to play this. Bring this unit into play in Madrid, only if friendly controlled. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Madrid is friendly controlled now. So we'll put that there. Change 2 regular army units for 2 3-strength units of the regular army. I want to do that. And I'll take the extra replacement points as well. There's always a question of, am I giving up too many cards, you know? So this one, I'll put one of these markers in it to help remind me. I have to look for 2 regular army units that I want to upgrade. Well, that's not the most trivial thing in the world to find because I got to kind of paw through everything. Okay, there's one. The question is whether I want to do Elmira. Oh shit, where did I get him from? I got him from this stack. Okay, let me get this guy out of the way first. That's one of them here in Toledo. Question is whether I want another unit in Toledo. I think I'm going to put it in Elmira instead. Give myself a little bit more force here. I don't have any regulars up there, so that one's been used up. The PO-54. Unfortunately, planes are rated differently. They're not just the same type. That can go in any friendly box. This goes into Madrid if friendly controlled. That one's used up. Any friendly port. We found that Albacete. I don't know if I see any great advantage to that versus, say, Murcia. Where I'd really like it, I think, is up here in Barcelona, which is where I'll put it. I'm a little worried about losing control up there, or even Valencia. So that's this one. Any friendly box, I don't know. We'll put this here. Again, it's planes, so it's like they really, I don't know why they're there, because they're going to get to be repositioned from here, and there's no rule for why they'd be in a specific box. I have a feeling that maybe this is a matter of between the editions, the cards didn't have their meanings updated and the rules maybe were changed. Okay. And now we get our replacements. Now, we're only going to get 3 cards, 4 cards next turn. So we're kind of eating into our capability to do military stuff, but I feel like the events and giving me troops, I always like to have things, not advantages in battle. But again, it's not clear, but this affects one fight, one die roll in general. Okay, so let's take a look at our replacement points. We'll be getting 1 for each objective, plus 1 for each mutually controlled. So each side gets 8, and they each played a +3 card. So they're each going to be at 11 points. And I get rid of these cards. Okay. Now, I'm only allowed to bring 1 strength point units into play or upgrade 1 strength point units to 2 point units. From what I've seen of combat, unless I need more pieces, upgrading seems like the better choice. And this is done probably Nationalist first, but it might be... and it's not all units. Okay, starting with whoever has the fewer replacement points. The Nationalist goes first on a tie. So the Nationalists can only improve regular army and phalangists. Okay. And I have 11 points. 1, 2, 3, and I bumped things. 4, 5, 6. I can only do 1 per space. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's all my points. So I can get rid of that. For the Republicans, I can only do regular Basques, communist, and anarchist militia. Well, let's start seeing. Unfortunately, I have crappy units in most cases. 1, 2, let's put them on top because I'm having trouble finding pieces I can upgrade. There's 1. I don't really want to build a lot of militia up. I don't feel like that's terribly advantageous to me. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 more of these. That gets me to a 2. We'll build a bunch of ones, and I haven't decided on what those ones are going to. I got 2 more points to spend. I'm going to increase at Malaga. And where can these be placed? I don't know where reinforcements. Supplied boxes. So I think I can bring in replacements. I think I can bring in new units, even in contested regions. Where else would I like an extra guy? You know, having a 2 point at -1, I don't know how valuable that is. So I'm going to put that there. Put an extra guy in Madrid, just for shits and giggles. I don't see a lot of nationalists who are able to get back here, so I'm not terribly worried about that. Let's put an extra there. I've still got 2 of these. I'll upgrade him. And we'll upgrade him. Now I've got 3 more units that I can place. I've got a lot of force here, so I feel kind of comfortable with what's going on there. So I'll put someone here. Put someone like Guadalajara. And let's say Dadreal. Okay, I'm going to straighten those out, but let's make sure what we have here. Status phase, both players will discard down to 8 cards. That's the end. I think we've gone over our hour, so I'm going to load this up. And you can see I'm kind of stumbling through this more than usual. In part, that's there are issues with the rules that I've found. There are also the fiddly aspects of it as well. And also me not really having a grasp as to what I'm trying to do terribly well. But anyway, we'll send this up, and before I do that, I'll clean up some of these things, but I won't do that on camera.